What is going on, guys? It's Jamie and welcome back to another video, and welcome to a cheeky little extra video uploaded in between my regular weekly vlogs. What is the reason for this extra serving, I hear you ask? Well, basically guys, I am off work at the minute. We will get to that very shortly, but as I'm off sitting at home not doing a lot, I really wanted to keep myself busy rather than just wasting the days away. So I thought a good way to do so would be to film an extra little piece of content so I can spend some time editing that this week whilst I am off. So I thought a good way to do so would be a Q&A video. So I put a question box up on my Instagram story last night, handed it over to you guys, and you did not disappoint with the questions. I've picked out a handful of them, some of the good ones. We're going to go through them today and hopefully you guys really enjoy it. If you're looking forward to the video, guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up button for me. I'd really appreciate it. And before we get into it, if you're new here or if you just haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button as well for brand new videos every single week. Let's get into it. You know what? I'm actually gonna sit back and get comfy here. Don't want this to be a really intense Q&A in your face. I'm just gonna relax a bit and we're gonna go through some questions. So question number one, guys, and this is something that I've been asked very frequently over the last few days. I've talked about it a lot over on my Instagram page, but if you don't follow me on there, I just wanted to quickly go over it here on YouTube, and a good way to do it was part of this Q&A, and the question is, what happened to your finger? So I'm going to try and keep the story short because I don't want to bore you guys straight away, but if you didn't know, then I'm a carpenter for a living. I work on building sites, and basically last Friday, whilst at work, I had a little bit of an accident with a Stanley knife. I was cutting up some plasterboard, had a bit of a slip, and basically cut right through the end of my finger with the knife. So I went right through my middle fingernail. Effectively, if you imagine getting as close as possible to cutting the tip of your finger off, that was basically what happened. So I had to go to hospital and everything like that. They couldn't stitch it because it was through the nail. Put those like steri-strip things on it, and yeah, wrapped it all up, and this is basically what we are left with. Obviously, a massive spanner in the works in terms to going back to work, training, basically everything. It's fucked a lot of stuff up. As I said at the start of the video, I'm off work at the minute. It will be for the whole of this week, maybe even longer, depending on how it starts to heal. And obviously training wise, going to the gym, that is pretty much off the cards as well, again, until it starts to get a little bit more healed up, a little bit more solid, and I'm confident to sort of go out and use it, because at the minute, very restricted use with obviously that finger. I can't do anything with it, so really the whole left hand is almost just out of use. So yeah, far from ideal, guys. Not exactly what we wanted, especially at this point in my training. Everything was literally clicking so well, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. These things happen, and my job role comes with the risks, and unfortunately sometimes these accidents happen. At the end of the day, it could have been a lot worse, and I've just got to count myself lucky that it wasn't. Touch wood, it will all heal up and we'll get back to things as soon as we can. Question number two, guys, and it is, what made you decide to pick powerlifting? So this is a great question and something that I get asked quite a lot ever since I moved onto the powerlifting split full time. If you followed me here on YouTube or over on Instagram for a while now, you will know that before these powerlifting days, my split did primarily used to focus around a more heavier focus, almost powerlifting kind of thing. Anyway, it was a power building split, so it was heavier focused, also, you know, in with more bodybuilding, hypertrophy style things. So I've always had that kind of element in my training of powerlifting. I've always loved it, and in the back of my head there's always been this thought of like, I wonder if I could go towards like a full powerlifting split. I was never too worried about forcing it or anything like that. It kind of just ended up being the time was right with the new Fortitude opening up. It was set up perfectly, literally perfectly for powerlifting, with the calibrated plates and everything as well. And it just so happened that that was the time that I thought, you know what, I'm just going to dive into it and see what we can do. So this actually leads me very nicely into question number three, which simply put was comp thoughts. So I can assume that this is in regards to powerlifting competitions, powerlifting meets, and have I thought about doing one, and stuff like that. And the answer to this, guys, simply is yes. when I went into this whole powerlifting journey, a meet it may have been far away, but it was definitely on the cards. It's always something that I wanted to do. I absolutely love watching powerlifting meets and always pictured myself at one. And the question really at the minute is just when. One thing that I've really been trying not to do since I started powerlifting is to really put pressure on myself to do a meet. It's quite a big thing, I think so anyway. And I didn't want to have that constant stress of, oh, I should be booking a meet up. Really what I've been doing is just enjoying the process of getting stronger, getting used to the training style, and really just getting myself in a place both physically and mentally where I feel like I'm ready to actually do a meet. Coming into 2022, the goal was to do one this year, and that still is in place, guys. Obviously this hasn't helped. Last week I was coming up to the end of my second run through my 12-week powerlifting split. And then after that I was going to start to put some plans into place. Obviously now with this, it's thrown a bit of a spanner in, as I said, so I need to figure out first just what I'm going to do generally with my training once I'm back and healed and can go back into the gym. But yeah, I would definitely say this year, 2022, I will do a powerlifting meet. Next question is a good one, guys. It is, what is your go-to gym bag essential, something you can't train without? Now I was thinking about this one in the run up to shooting this video, and honestly the answer for me is something that is not per se like related to training. I think the item would have to be my headphones. I know there could be other things like my belt, for example, but I mean, headphones is just like such an important thing to me. I think you guys will be able to relate here. If you're driving to the gym and you're like, shit, have I forgot my headphones? And you feel around in your gym bag and you don't find them, that feeling is just like, oh my God, like, and you realize you're gonna have to do a whole session without headphones in. I don't know. It depends on whether you actually listen to music in the gym, I guess, or are happy to listen to the music that's just playing out loud. But for me, like having those headphones in, being in my own little zone, it's just really, really important. So yeah, headphones is definitely something that I can't train without. So moving on to the next question, guys, and this one is actually a really interesting one. We're moving back into more of the subject of training. And the question is, going from a bodybuilding split to a powerlifting split, have you seen any drastic changes to your physique? So as I said, guys, a really interesting question. I wouldn't say I've seen any drastic changes to my physique, but there have been some things that I have noticed that I will just tell you guys about. So the first thing is the growth of my chest. Obviously, since moving on to a powerlifting split, my volume of bench press and chest work has gone up a lot. In my split, I bench 4 times every single week, so that's once every session. Compared to my old split, I've effectively doubled the amount of compound work I do for my chest anyway. So yeah, my chest has definitely seen a lot of progress over the last few months. And the other thing has been the growth in both my quads and my hamstrings. Obviously, again, this goes back to the whole thing of the volume being increased, but I'm now squatting 3 times a week and deadlifting twice. So the quads and the posterior chain, hammies and everything is getting an absolute hammering every single week. Partnered with a calorie surplus, this has just really helped my quads and my hamstrings see a lot of progress over the last few months again. So yeah, apart from that, I mean, nothing really crazy. And obviously the muscle groups that have grown or seen a lot of progress since powerlifting are the ones that I'm now like primarily focused on: my chest, my quads, my hamstrings, all of the kind of little finer things that I would hit in my bodybuilding split. Obviously don't see a lot of progress because they purely just don't get the volume or the frequency week to week with my training, apart from my small accessory work within each session. But for me, I mean, I'm not bothered about that. I've gone from the point now of really worrying about what my physique looks like. My training now purely is to just gain strength, get as strong as possible. Anything that happens with my body during that process is obviously a bonus. So we're moving on to the last 2 questions, guys, and these ones for me kind of relate to each other, so we're going to tie them in a little bit. The first one is your dream sponsorship. Now, I feel like if you know me, you will know exactly what this is, and even if you don't, gauging from my Instagram and here on my YouTube channel, you could probably start to piece together who it is. But if you can't, My dream sponsorship is Gymshark. Early on in my fitness journey, I came across Gymshark on social media, immediately fell in love with the brand, everything they stand for, followed them and all of their athletes religiously, watched all the YouTube videos and everything. Obviously over the years to this day now, Gymshark has just blown up way more than anyone could have ever imagined, and they're now like this literally global brand competing with the likes of Nike and Adidas. But the thing that sticks out to me is beneath all of it, the brand is still the same kind of core focus as it was all of those years ago. The way they stand for their customers, the community, everything is just absolutely incredible. And it occurred to me after a couple of years, you know, all that time ago, that what an amazing thing it would be to just become an athlete, be a part of that family, and just be able to have that platform to spread your message and inspire people all over the globe. So at that point, I gave myself a goal of becoming a Gymshark athlete. I didn't know at the time whether I was being serious with myself or not. I had no idea whether this was possible, but I knew, as I said, just deep down, what an incredible thing it would be. Now, obviously, over the years, I've learned that it's a lot harder than you might think to become a Gymshark athlete, but regardless, guys, still to this day, my goal is to become a Gymshark athlete. And to be honest, if anything, at this point where we stand now, I'm more serious about it than I've ever been before. Now, this leads me on to the next part of the question, guys. As I said, the two kind of relate to each other. For me, the question is, what is your biggest goal for 2022? My goal for this year is to get sponsored by Gymshark. Now, obviously, this is something that I can't put a timeline to. I don't know when or if it's going to happen. But at the end of the day, guys, if I'm not striving like 100% towards the things that I want to do, then I may as well not bother. If you go all in on what you want, then you don't know what might happen. No one knows what tomorrow might hold. A year is a long time. And if I can do everything literally in my power that I can to get towards where I want to be, then why the hell not? Big goals. I told you it was big goals this year. And yeah, it honestly scares me a little bit, but again, I think if your dreams don't scare you, then they're not big enough. But anyway, guys, this actually leads me on very nicely to just a little bit of news that I wanted to tell you guys about before we finish this video. It actually is in regards to Gymshark. Some very exciting news at this early stage in the year. This Friday, in just a couple of days, we are going up to Solihull again for another visit to Gymshark HQ and the Gymshark Lifting Club. Absolutely incredible. Last week I was sent an invitation to this event that they are hosting, and yeah, we're going to be going up there this Friday, which is absolutely crazy. Obviously, unfortunately, and I'm so gutted, so gutted, I'm not going to be able to take advantage of the whole day, because there will be some sort of training session which I will not be able to take part in, which is just rubbish, like sucks so bad. But we're still going to go up there and capitalize on this day, and it will still be an absolutely incredible day. So the next video that you guys see here on my YouTube channel will be coming straight from Gymshark HQ. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed this one. As I said, just a little extra upload in between my regular weekly vlogs. Just want to say a big thank you to everyone who dropped a question for the video over on my Instagram. Obviously, I'm sorry that I couldn't answer them all, but hopefully I picked a good range of questions there, and some interesting ones for you guys watching at home. If you did enjoy the video, guys, hit that thumbs up button for me. I'd really appreciate it. Leave a comment down below, any extra questions that you may have, chuck them down there and I will get back to you. And if you're new to the channel, or if you just haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button for new videos every single week. And as I said, the next one is going to be very exciting from our day at Gymshark. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.